there's our amazing planet here. The introduction of this annoying pandemic brought massive changes to how we live. It unfortunately brought generational separation and inflicted conflict in this planet. Here's a basic summary of what I've been seeing since the beginning of the pandemic. Basically, in 2020, when everything started, literally everything moved online. For us, as in people in my generation, this was a really smooth transition because we were already used to modern technology, Zoom, Google Meets, Google Hangouts, all of that things. But for older generations, this would have been very frustrating. It would have been much more harder change to accomplish. And the fact that this change happened through the course of maybe even a few weeks or just a few hours, really, a meeting could go online due to COVID in 2020. So for these people, it would have been really difficult for them. And let me try to conceptualize this difficulty. One day I heard my grandmother calling my mom and then asking, "Hey, how do you use Coupang?" Here's what my mom said. She said, "Open the app, make an account, and search for what you need." Okay, wait, pause. My grandmother's like, "Where is the app?" Okay, my mom's like, okay, you need to get it first, and you need to go to Google Play and search Coupang. Okay, she did that, she was able to do that, but then when she opened Google Play, it was like, okay, you need an account to use Google Play. And then as my mom answered more questions, there were even more questions, and it was like an infinite chain reaction of questions. They fell into this black hole of questions and answers for 30 minutes. And honestly, I can't say anything about this because when my grandmother resorted to calling me, I also struggled for 30 minutes. This was an ultimate failure, but I did learn a lot of lessons from it. Let's see how the lessons I learned affects what I did after. The next question was from my grandfather. It was like, how do you use Zoom? Obviously, he had a business meeting in a few weeks, and he needed to know how to use it. Okay, so I was like, okay. I was right next to him, so I was, "Can I have your computer for a second?" My grandfather's like, "Okay, but I want to learn how to use it, because if you're not there, I can't use this app at all." This reminded me immediately of the 30-minute Coupang disaster. It was almost like PTSD. So I began thinking, what was wrong about the Coupang explanation? It was basically that I was making way too many assumptions. I was using all of these technological words that only my generation could understand. I was using words like login, account, where I really needed to be explicit about how to do these things, how to make an account, how to log in. And I really needed to be specific. Okay? So here's the solution I came up with. This is a relatively simple Zoom guide. It took me 10 minutes to make, and of course this is translated into English. I first made this in Korean, but you can see that I'm being as explicit as possible. I'm using sensory details like see here, again see here, or click, like individual actions. This is what really made my grandfather impressed and what made him actually understand how to use Zoom, because 30 minutes of roaming around the internet and looking for a Zoom tutorial, Zoom guide, it all made these false assumptions that I was talking about before. It was using these technological words. What's most important is that I only took 10 minutes to make this. It's just I went into the app, roamed around the app, and literally wrote down what I was doing. I was clicking, I was seeing the red lines on those icons, etc. And then that's him a few weeks ago participating in a Zoom business meeting. Now he's a pro at using Zoom. That's pretty nice, okay? And here comes the next issue is, how do you use Netflix on TV? So apparently my cousin was able to set up everything before I came, but then she got really frustrated when she had to explain the specific processes because the words she was using and the words that my grandparents could understand were very different. So again, I made a chart or a diagram. This time it's a bit longer, but I'm being as explicit as possible. I'm saying press home. I'm drawing all of the icons on the remote controllers. You can see I'm using this diagram. If you use Netflix, you can probably see what these are. These are like the individual profiles. And if he follows this guide, he can basically search for any movie and look at any movie. So This brings me to my next point, is the cognitive processes of our generation, my parents' generation, and my grandparents' generation are all different because the technology we were exposed to are all different. Conversely, if we think about the future, if we ask our own children or grandchildren, how they explain technology to us will be very different. For instance, let's say this is a floppy disk. Probably, I can see in the middle, nobody has any idea as to what this is. At first, I also had no idea as to what this is because this is from like the 1900s when computers were just made, right? And these things too, you guys might know this from Reply 1988, or is that too old for you guys? I don't know. Anyways, so as you can see, the opposite also applies. We can't understand technology from before. Oh, this brings me to my last point. If we take 10 to 15 minutes of our lives trying to understand each other, trying to teach each other, and trying to support each other, we can get rid of generational barriers. Because the language barrier I was talking about, the understanding of words and the difference in that understanding was a generational barrier. And if we can support each other and take 5 to 10 minutes to help each other understand, we can break that generational barrier and find our ways through the hard times. Together, we're stronger, and together, we will win. Thank you.